In this week's video, we're going to look at a very, very, very unique Triumph Stag. It's completely a one-off, an original prototype that's actually coming up for sale this weekend. Let's have a look. Something that came across my desk this week was about this car. I've heard about this, but I've never actually seen one up close and personal. But there is a project X815, that is a fastback version of the Triumph Stag, and I'd had no idea really much about this. I'd heard that had been one around, so I just thought I'd share with you the photographs that I managed to gather from the Bonhams auction that's coming up in April, and a little bit of background that this person sent in to me, with grateful thanks to Peter Robinson for giving us the inside track on the car. And I thought it'd be a perfect topic for a Friday night trunnion, so here goes. So, brief history of the remaining fastback Stag, which is Project X815. Now, in 1968, Triumph asked Giovanni Michelotti to make a fastback version of the Triumph Stag using the original car, which had so impressed Harry Webster back in January 1966. So although the project showed promise, the styling was not what Triumph were looking for, and Michelotti was asked to submit a series of design sketches for future consideration. In early 1969, a spare prototype Stag body shell was sent to Turin for the chosen design to be made in metal. This came back to Canley in England and was built up as a running prototype for engineering assessment. Now, the project was given the go-ahead by the board, and from this second car, a series of production body drawings was made. Initially, 2 cars were to be built by the engineering department for prototype testing. The first was started in April 1970, with the second following close behind. In September 1970, the fastback project was actually shelved, presumably by the British Leyland board, who were then starting to formulate their own model strategy for the 1970s, a strategy which we all know did not include more than one expensive fastback, and Jaguar was already fairly advanced in their F-type plans, later to be released as the Jaguar XJS, which we all know and love. Now, the engineering department at Canley decided not to scrap the most advanced prototype which they were building, but built it up into a running car as and when time allowed, from existing parts, no doubt. The other part-built body was scrapped, as eventually were the 2 Michelotti-built fastback prototypes. The car, which is now offered for sale, was completed in March 1971, so this one that we're looking at now, and registered for the road use soon after. However, the project was never resurrected, and little testing was ever done after that. The car was soon transferred out of the engineering department for use by one of the British Leyland directors, and the rest, as they say, is history. I think, for me personally, what I find fascinating about this car is obviously the styling. It very much is in the keeping of Giovanni Michelotti. He's done a fantastic job, and just you wonder if it could have made it into production, how many would have been sold. It certainly complements the open top or 3-roof version of the convertible Triumph Stag, and it's got a chic or the Italian equivalent of chic, whatever that is, of its own in many ways. What I like as well is the fact that it obviously was based on early Stags. You've got the kind of dinner plate wheel rims there, the wheel covers, which I think are lovely in a kind of stainless steel, kind of silver colour. You've got the grey badges that denote a kind of Mark I Triumph Stag on the Triumph Stags themselves, as well as the Mark I seats internally as well. It's obviously an overdrive manual, so it's pretty agile, I would think, in terms of its roadworthiness, and you just wonder quite what it would have been like to drive this thing around and use it day to day as a lovable classic. And for me, you can just see the quality of this car. It's absolutely stunning. There's not a speck of dirt or rust or anything on it. It's almost like it just rolled off the production line yesterday, and the chrome on it and the patina is just fantastic. And I think if I had the money, I'd be certainly very interested in looking to see how I might acquire it. But I just hope that it stays in this country and that we all get to enjoy it together going forward into future years. It is a stunning, stunning car, and a much forgotten Giovanni Michelotti creation. So the car's been in the same ownership for many, many years, and it's now been decided to sell it at the forthcoming Bonhams auction in April, and the guide price is anywhere between £50,000 to £80,000. What a fantastic car, and what a privilege to have covered it this week. Arry the Stag. Okay, so we'll report back on exactly what it went for. Eventually, the guide price anywhere between 50 and 80 grand. So our top end, top notch Triumph Stag. Let's see what develops. If you like this video, then watch this video to see more from Arry the Stag.